Hey, thanks for swinging by my channel and checking out The Artist Eye, my podcast. I really hope you enjoy it. I want to let you know that in this episode, I made the mistake of improperly setting a gate on my microphone, and so there's some clipping on my end. My guest was able to hear me properly. If you want, you can check out the links below where you can find the audio for this podcast, and it's a slightly better edited version. Thanks for hanging with me.
Thank you, my brother, for letting me shed the light from the shed, oh, infinity. And thank you, Shedders, for rolling on through, doing that really good thing that I know that you do, is bringing love and bringing open hearts. We out here doing all that we can to spread that part of the humanity. It's in all of us, yes, all of that.
Welcome, Aaron Goldberg. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
No, thank you. Thank you. You know, you're such a wonderful musician, man. I enjoy hanging out with you in your Twitch channel. You just got so much talent up in those bones.
Thank you so much, man. I mean, I am blown away by the fact that people come and hang out and that you have spent so much time there. And I just appreciate that so much.
I spend a lot of time all over Twitch, but you know, no place has really made me feel quite as welcome as yours. You know, I just really feel every time I come in there, I just really feel welcome. I mean, I've felt welcome other places. Like I really get like a warm welcome from people when I go other places. But you know, feels like home.
That is the best, probably the best like feedback I could get, because that's, you know, the feeling I get with any of my friends in real life. And during this crazy time,
where I'm not seeing them, I have found a new community, and in a way that I've never experienced before through this sort of streaming platform, um, or format, that's like filling that void but also doing something else. And so they're two separate things, but this beautiful true community is forming. It's really amazing connection,
Yeah.
that feeling of home.
And I'm surprised, not to, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'm surprised though that you took off quite as fast as you, because normally you hear a lot of streamers, even the popular ones, telling you that, they spent like 8 months to a year sitting on 0 viewers. But You're just rolling and collectively gathering viewers as you go. That's just how you
I
are.
I just got so lucky, man. I genuinely feel really lucky because like the right I ended up in the hands of really nice people who heard about me and watched my stream and told other people to raid me, and that really just started a pretty quick growth, combined with people coming over from a shared server that you and I are in, the Duncan Trussell Discord. Um, those people who were already getting to know my personality before they even listened to my music, because I was hanging out in that Discord so often, you know, came over and were giving love and support. And that combined with people who I was getting just from Twitch purely started forming this really cool community that already sort of had a foundation in just being open hearted. And I was there to also just be myself. And people started to love it and see that.
I mean, I really respect everybody that's there. I'm a kind of a tight knit guy. I keep to myself a little bit. So you don't see me post too much around the Discord. But you just reminded me that I forgot my water in the fridge. I have to run. But
Yeah, it's important.
um, I got headphones, so I'm gonna ask you a question in a few minutes, and then I'm gonna run and grab it. I can still hear you, but I won't camera for that. But
Cool.
anyway, as I was saying, we do share that Discord. Share a couple things. We sort of we attend sort of a meditation class with him.
Yeah.
I enjoy that practice with him. But what's your practice like? I'm gonna go grab my water. What's your meditation practice like?
So currently, I don't have a rigid or as rigid of a practice as I used to, and that's a combination of reasons. Um, but when I find myself doing formal meditation practice, my preferred method is japa. And so with a mala like this, you basically it's like a rosary if anyone knows how those work, but you run your finger over the bead one at a time and repeat a mantra, and that helps. um I mean, you can get as deep into it as you want with mantras having specific properties and stuff, but for me the main point is helping focus myself on one point so that I can stop getting caught in the mind. So just japa meditation is my favorite, or most common. And then the reason why I kind of don't do that so much right now is I just had a crazy last like 6 months or so. I almost started losing faith in that stuff at all. And instead of losing faith in it in any sort of like spiritual connection or divinity, I don't know even what word to look for. But instead of losing faith in something like beautiful and higher power, like sort of thing, or collective source energy, I tried to like just tap into it more, like less ephemeral and more right here in front of me. Because I started reading like Mirabai Star, this book called Wild Mercy. It talks a lot about embodiment, rather than so many practices that we do are stuck in this very masculine desire to ascend. And it's like we're here in human bodies, and like we kind of need this. We need to embody that and be here now, and like
Yeah.
really be here, not
Yeah.
be here now to get somewhere else. That's a fucking trick, like be here.
Well,
And so I've been working on just trying, like my practice is living life and trying to be present. And that could sound like bypassing bullshit, but
no, it doesn't sound at all like bullshit to me, because I'll tell you, I was out last night while you were doing your game stream. It was
yeah.
me and my wife were grabbing something to eat, and when we stopped, we were walking down the road, the way there actually. Now, I was just looking up at the sky and just thinking about the moment, not really like past or present or anything. And I felt like I was meditating.
Yeah.
And it was because I was in the moment right then. I thought, how lovely to just be with my wife right now, walking. Great moment. It was a great experience. And I just took a breath and I let it be. And I felt like I was meditating. I don't have many of those experiences. I haven't really had many of those. Haven't been meditating for very long, but nothing really lifts me up like taking a breath and realizing that life.
Yeah, man. I had like a 20-minute conversation with a friend about the breath, about just how that big breath that you take and you feel the entirety of it coming into your nose or mouth down into your lungs, and you feeling alive because of it.
I had a lot of anxiety problems in the past. Meditation helps me to sort of, I just understand that I'm going to be fine.
Yes,
I
and
just have
the
to
breathing
acknowledge
is
that to myself. And the breathing very much so helps to, because a lot of the
because
time when I'm talking or when I'm focusing, if I'm playing guitar, a lot of the time after I'm done trying to do something on it, holy shit,
yeah.
and but when I'm meditating, focus on the breath. That's what you're always bringing your attention back to the breath. You're never forgetting that. And I mean, often I've felt sick and then just helped me just from anxiety. And it's just helped me to
Yeah.
relieve that. And I mean, that was in the past before I started. Now realizing that meditation is bringing your attention to helping me. My
I'm
mic
so
is
happy to
cutting
hear
out,
that.
Lemonade. Should be fine. Maybe my gate's too low. Should be fine. I'll have to check the playback of that. But yeah, it really lifts me up when I'm meditating, and I don't have too many of those moments, so I'm happy to have them when I do.
Yeah, man. And I think, having this idea of needing to have those moments while sitting on a cushion or, like on a yoga mat or something is a restriction, and it really keeps you from that happening or the potential of it happening at any moment. If you don't think it can, it's probably not going to. But like every moment is that moment. It is the only moment. And if you're able to get yourself there, it's magical. And that's you're meditating.
Yeah, I think that me and my friend Nick were discussing something about what when I was confused about what is meditation or sort of just coming into it. Like I was asking him, how does he feel about like what kind of stuff he does while he's meditating. I mean, when I'm meditating, a lot of the time I can't just sit still because my kids are downstairs and my wife is busy, whatever. And we've got a lot.
Yeah.
We've got a lot in the house going on all at once. So I like I said to Duncan the other day, garbage truck went by. My wife texted me, and I was, it was all stuff going on. So I don't sit still. One time I was making a sandwich in the middle of meditation. I was like, I'm making a sandwich. I can't meditate. But when I get up in the morning, I go in my backyard and I sit there, and I don't do anything. I have a cigarette, but I don't do anything. I'm not really looking at my phone. Sometimes I'll look at my phone,
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever. But I just sit there and I listen to the birds chirp, and I listen to whatever's going on. Sometimes there's lawnmowers or whatever. I feel like that's meditation too. It doesn't like lift me up like those moments when I'm walking down the street with my wife and I'm feeling that. But it's a form of silence for me, and it's a form I don't get very often around here with my kids running around.
Totally.
So it feels like meditation.
I would say it is. I think that meditation absolutely doesn't only make you feel good. To be in the present moment, it's not always going to feel good. So that's why we are not in the present moment so often, because sometimes it really hurts.
Yeah.
And so just because that morning time maybe doesn't necessarily lift you up, that's absolutely meditation. You're sitting in silence and just being. Any contemplation can be meditation. So many forms of it exist, and like you said, doing making a sandwich. One of my favorite activities to meditate while or to be conscious while doing is washing dishes. It's because it's such a thing that you think you don't want to do, but if you can make it a fun thing and a practice that's going to bring you presence, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that can bring you to that, I guess I really haven't thought about it that way. These are the reasons why I have people like this on here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your music. I know a little bit of your history with it. You've been making music since you were 6 years old, or you've been practicing music since you were 6 years old? You go on with the rest of the story.
I started piano at 6, but I that was my dad wanted his kids to just play an instrument. I think he thought it was good for our brains. And out of the 3 kids he had, one of them didn't do that because he was beyond ADD and obviously smart enough. Such genius. And my sister and I played piano, and she stopped at some point. I stopped at some point, like when I was 12. I was just over it, and I wasn't really into music. And then when I was carpooling with a friend to school, hearing some really cool fucking rock and roll,
I believe Pink Floyd, "Wish You Were Here," and
Strange Brew by Cream. Yeah, those 2 songs effectively changed the course of my life.
Wow,
because they just made me fall in love with music in a different way.
Yeah.
So, and then I picked up the guitar around a year or 2 probably after that, or maybe within that year, who knows. But since then, it's been I was very close-minded and only into rock and roll music, and from the 70s and 60s. That was it.
Yeah.
And then I would jam with my friends rock music and shit in middle school, and we made a band, and then we made another band. So I was in a couple early bands just with friends trying out ideas, and we all grew so much together in that time that those are people who, no matter how long it's been between us playing together, when we come together and play, we have such a shared language of jamming that it's never uncomfortable. And I give so much credit to those people and another group of friends who I have just spent literal countless hours playing music with, to why I am able to improvise and do what I do now, just because of doing it so much with friends.
With your improvisation, though, you've got pizza box beer can skills that I've never seen before, from trash, literal trash. You say that all the time.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing some of the stuff I've seen you do. I
Thank you.
I can't believe some of it. You're a very inspired person. Like, just, I don't know whether it's just you, but I mean, you've got this. I mean, when I'm around, there's certain people that I've been around before, and if I'm around them, I feel this energy. I don't even have
Yeah.
to be near you. I feel that energy right now. It's there. Let me tell you. But do you know what? I mean, is it just part of who you are, or do you? Is there? I don't know. How do you maintain your positive attitude? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, so I think this will be interesting. So when you started that sentence, you said, I think you said you are an inspiring person, right? Is that what you said?
I said you are a very inspired person.
Inspired?
Yeah, I feel like. I
Okay,
mean,
perfect. Yes.
yeah,
That okay, because I was gonna say no, I don't know about that, but I'm inspired. I am inspired by fun, by love, by like things that make me feel good, and making other people feel good. More importantly, and that makes me feel really good. And so, like, the cool thing about Twitch is being able to do something and see people have a positive reaction to it, and then me have fun with it because I was just banging on a pizza box.
yeah.
Like, and that all that does is do this cycle. Like, it feeds me to want to feed you guys, to feed me, to feed you guys, and it's so much fun. It's like we're all just hanging out
It's
together. It's
so
just
much
how I would
fun.
spend time with my friends.
It's absolutely so much fun. I every night I'm just like I'm. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, we're in a different time zone. So right now it's 9:22 for me, while it's 6:22 for you.
Oh
So
my god.
sometimes you're coming on at about 12 for you. You're coming on at 12 for you. Maybe 12:40 or whatever. It's 3:40 a.m. I'm trying to stretch how long I can stay awake just so I can catch you for a few minutes before I go to bed. Just sometimes.
Oh,
Just sometimes. I like your early
right.
streams though.
Yes.
um, I wanted to ask you about the Cacophony Society. I
Please.
guess that's how you met Duncan. But
Sort of.
sort
Yeah.
of, yeah. I mean, I've heard the story a couple times. Why don't you tell it? Since I don't, you go ahead.
So you want you specifically want like my run-in with the Cacophony Society, right? Not just
Not
what it
just the
is.
Duncan Trussell shit. Your whole, all of it.
So I where that even came into my existence, I never knew about Cacophony Society until Duncan Trussell, and I only found out about it not even through the podcast. It was a friend of mine had gone to the Comedy Store to see Duncan do a set, and just like do a comedy set. And we went onto the porch or balcony, whatever, like the outside area, and talked to him. We just saw him there, and we were like, "Yo, can we talk to you for a second?" And he was just like totally down. Um,
Awesome.
and we chatted for a few minutes. Very, we didn't want to make him uncomfortable or feel like he was being bombarded by people who were starstruck, and so we just tried to have a casual conversation with him, and he ended up inviting us to his Cacophony Society event, which he had just found out about. Um, and he described to us what the Cacophony Society is, giving us examples such as some of my favorite things being the salmon run, which is where
I love the salmon run.
when there's a race, in town, the Cacophony Society will put on salmon suits and run the opposite direction. Or the clown thing, where the clowns, like you'll have a
They get on the
train of bus
bus
stops.
every other stop. It's a clown gets on the bus
Uh,
until the bus is
yeah,
full of
exactly.
clowns. That's
And
perfect.
they none of them interact with one another, so it's
No,
just a bus full of clowns that are not talking to each other.
there's no circus in town. You're not. You just see.
The circus never left. And so he gave us those examples, and we were like, "Fuck yeah, I'd love to be at your Cacophony Society event. That sounds amazing." And basically, what we did was met him in a supermarket, uh, in a Gelson's in pajamas. Everyone was wearing pajamas, and we met him at supermarket. In the front of the market, there was a bar in this market,
Okay.
and he bought us all drinks, and we ended up singing songs from Frozen in this Gelson's, and that ended up on the podcast, which is really crazy. But like
I'm gonna have to go
that
searching for
was
that episode.
years before I started working for him.
Yeah.
So it was really just like a fun thing in my life where I was like, cool, I got to be in the market with Duncan. And like I had asked him that night to help him on his podcast, and he was like, of course, come to my house, and gave me his email. And I never went to his house or anything, but I had over a couple of years sent him like 2 or 3 songs of mine, and so like we did remain somewhat connected, which was really interesting. And then when I ran into him at the Ramdas retreat, he was like, yo,
That's nice.
here we are.
It's always good to bring up past thing just randomly. It comes back to you, especially if it was a good thing.
Yeah.
You know. But about your music though, when you go into, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be just your music. I watched you paint. I watched the VOD of you painting a picture over. You said it was one of your ex-girlfriend's old portraits on glass.
Yeah, actually. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's not on this side of the room anymore. But
No
yeah,
worries. But I mean, with your art, whatever you're doing, do you have an idea in your head? Like when you painted that, did you have an idea in your head beforehand of what you want to do, or do you just go with the? You just like
no,
it's natural. It's all natural for you.
it's like a combination of going with the flow and ideas, but never an idea that was there more than like 5 seconds. It's like an idea pops up, and then I go with that idea until another idea pops up, and I go with that idea until another idea pops up, and I go with that idea, and then it becomes whatever it is.
Yeah. For me,
So I don't tell myself that there's a goal, because that's usually how I end up feeling like I failed.
I think there's a lot of like deterrence in when I have an idea or a thought. It's like, oh, I'll do that, and then it's like, okay, but you know, maybe it's not the greatest idea or whatever, and it's, you know, I'll see something that like somebody else has done similar to that, and it's like, oh well, then you know, you don't need to do it. Somebody else has done it, and so over and over, I'll have a bunch of things tell me, you know, maybe it's not the greatest idea for you to do, and then I'll just go, I don't know, and then it'll end. And whatever I've done, if I have done anything, doesn't go anywhere. But
Yeah.
have you ever had that?
Dude, that is why I don't try to do. I won't be like, I'm gonna try to paint a picture of my cat. You know, like, and when I do, I just accept it's not gonna look the way I want it to, because I'm not good at that. And so, like, what I do instead is allow what I can do to show me what I'm good at, rather than like try to fucking do this thing that isn't even really bringing me joy, and it's just kind of making me beat myself up. Instead, I'll just put paint on paper and let it do what it does.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I used to paint, but not paint. It was just like when I painted like 6 or 8 all pictures, and everybody told me they were real good and that I should do some more. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll do more, and it just never turned into anything.
Well, because see, it sucks to try and do more of one thing when you don't want to do more of that anymore. Like, you weren't thinking about that probably when you were doing those paintings. You were just having fun.
Yeah, I definitely was having fun, and I ran out of paint, and I ran out of like easels, and I was like, hey,
Right.
Mom, can I get some more paint and easels? And she's like, well, it's really expensive. You're gonna have to, you know, do some chores around the house. And I did some chores around the house, and I think I spent the money on something.
Right.
But
something else that you wanted to have more fun with, or or whatever.
I enjoyed it for sure. Like whatever I was doing, I enjoyed it at the time. Even if I moved on to something else, I enjoyed it just as much. So
yeah, I think I can relate this to my music and what happens in stream a lot, actually. You know, like, when people ask me to play a certain genre, sometimes I'll do it, or a certain whatever. But I usually just say, nah, I don't really want to. And then my explanation is because that's not why I'm doing this. Like I like that, and I actually really have fun with those challenges sometimes. But I did need to learn to say no, because that's running into the whole drawing a picture of a cat thing. I didn't go on there to tell you guys I'm a good um country song writer or a fucking ska musician. I said I'm a multi-instrumentalist that does improvisation. That's all I promise. Like, and so by
Same
doing
reason I
that,
have this shirt, because
exactly.
I
Yes.
play,
Dude, this is great. I love that design.
but I'm not great. But that is available by store.
It's like, look, I'm here to play. That's what
Plug.
I'm here to do. And so I'm setting myself up for not failing if I don't have a goal that where I have to make a certain kind of sound. Because then if I don't have to make a certain kind of sound, I literally can't lose,
Yeah,
or like can't mess up. It's like, and there is no losing or messing up in art, but I won't beat myself up about having not done the thing,
I
and
feel
I
like
get to
that
remain having a
a
good time.
lot of times when I'm like, if I'm playing my guitar, I feel like if I'm not doing what I want to be doing, somebody said one time that I sounded like Kurt Cobain when I was playing. And I was like, I'm not trying to sound like Kurt Cobain. If you just got off the binge of listening to a Nirvana album, maybe you're hearing Kurt Cobain. But I don't
Right.
listen to Nirvana personally. I've never gone on a Nirvana binge. There's, Come As You Are, whatever. But they're radio songs to me. I love hearing them on the radio. But no, not too much more
Good
than that.
radio songs.
Yo, for sure. Like I listen to, but they're not something I hear too frequently. I mean, my wife listens on them more than I do, but they're on the background. But again,
Right.
it's just like just using that as something that I've heard. They told me that I sound like it. One time I played like an Aussie riff, and I had no idea how I did it, and I was like, "Hey, that was awesome!" And I enjoyed the fact that I did it, but I couldn't do it again. So I
Right.
mean, I had a smile on my face when I did it, but afterwards, it was, oh well, whatever. So
Yes.
they
I
come
mean,
and
I'll
go.
even experience that with my own music, where it's like I had a great time playing that song when I wrote it, and for 5 months after it, but I do not enjoy playing it now. I don't want to do that for you. I'm sorry.
A lot of musicians
Like
are like that. Yeah, they get like
I
a song on an
had to
album and they
stop.
write it so many times.
Yeah, I had to stop. I'm not built to be like a regular gigging musician who just goes and plays the same songs over. It'll drive me nuts.
Yeah, there's a clip that I shared of you saying just how Twitch is great for being an open source where you can choose when you want to come on and have a concert for whoever decides that they want to show up, and just whenever, whatever.
It is the best. It is the best. Because of that, you get to just do it on your schedule in the way you want to. You can put the camera on your head if you want to. Like it doesn't. It's like you have full creative control, and people will either come and watch it or they won't.
Exactly.
And it's so cool.
I enjoy that about Twitch. I mean, I see when I first came here. I mean, I've been here for quite a few years. I was here to watch people at first, but when I first came here to start streaming, I started watching how streamers were with their audience and stuff like that, and I noticed that a lot of people were trying hard to get viewers, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is not. I'm not a TV star. I'm not trying to be a celebrity. I want to play my games or whatever, and I want, if people want to watch me, I want to let people watch me. I might as well be productive with it. I had a channel trailer up previously. I joined this platform to grow and learn and, just be here with people and make friends and have new experiences. And when I saw numbers were the thing, I made it a goal that I never wanted to be partner. So I'm
Wow.
absolutely never applying for partner for that specific reason.
Interesting.
I don't care those numbers, whatever. They're numbers. I'm
Totally.
happy to see people here, and I'm happy to
Yeah.
engage with people when I can. But it's up to you whether you want to be here or not. If you're here with me, I love you. If you're not, whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can be somewhere else. I'm somewhere else sometimes too. Doesn't matter.
Right.
We're just here.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's. I mean, I just I can't say I wish I was on this platform earlier because whatever. Like I am here now, and I'm really grateful for that. But what a cool thing, man. I love it. I love it.
Great platform. It's helped me. I mean, I wouldn't say all of them are friendships. I've known people on here for 2 years that I would say, we're kind of friends, but it's more like a, viewer streamer relationship, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
some of them are sort of like celebrities, so
Totally.
it's a little different for some of them. But most of them are just like there's a guy in the Netherlands that I talk to. He just plays the same game over and over again. I go there every once in a while, and we just chat. We have a good time.
I love that. I love it.
It's
It
great.
all exists on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's what's funny
That's
is
cool. There's no ceiling. Like you really can. I mean, I just saw Sushi Dragon for the first time the other day. I literally was going, what the fuck? Like this is wild what this guy's able to pull off. And I don't know if you've seen what he does,
I
but
can't
it's
say I
like
have.
it's a guy who his whole room is green screen. He's in like a green screen like warehouse with controls all over his body and his hands, and he's triggering live video effects to music. It's insane.
Wow.
I like it was a bunch of dubstep and stuff, which isn't my jam, but like the dude was really impressive, and he did not seem like he was a cool in between, because he was still like really just being a person and talking to his fans, but for moments in between fucking madness that he was pulling off, like wizardry, just like live video production.
Wow. Crazy. Some of these people are just absolutely insane. I have a friend who lives just a couple of cities over, who's a streamer, and he does these like live dance routines almost with just like all this green screen going on around him. He's just like effects going on. Crazy.
It's so cool.
Yeah, like you said, everything exists on this platform. There's so much to explore, and there's always someone new on. Like every day, there's somebody new joining. There's always something new to
Right.
explore, and there's a lot of that. And I mean, we met through the Discord, but I might have found you on Twitch if I hadn't have known you through the Discord, because
That's so cool.
I looked through the music performance section a lot. But yeah, I saw that you did some music, and I saw somebody. I don't think it was you, but somebody posted your Twitch page, so I decided to follow. Very glad that I
That's
did.
so crazy.
Because if I hadn't have,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be here now, would we?
No. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It's super weird. I mean, it's not that weird if you really think about it. It happened.
It all lines up beautifully. Every time you look back, it's so much easier to be like, well, that makes perfect sense. But it's weird when you're going into it.
Yeah.
Always.
Going
You're
forward,
like,
it's
wow, how?
always weird. Like taking that first step, It's always
Yeah.
strange, or it feels like I'm inadequate for this. Like,
Speaking of, you touched on trying to get viewers. So this was the first Twitch was the very first time that I had ever that I can think of, like just blasted my social media every day for a week, asking people to follow me. I didn't say please watch me. I was like, please just follow me. I want to get to affiliate. And it worked. And then I started building a fan base naturally through Twitch. Very few people who I know in real life or that follow me on Instagram watch me. It's really cool when I see a name pop up in there because I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And they're just like, yo, this is sick. But it's very rare. And so I got kind of experienced both where it was my first time ever being like, yo, please, 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 and just like begging on social media, and then also building a natural thing basically from nothing, just with that number in the front to make it look like I was legit.
Yeah. I mean, when I started my podcast, I started hammering everything on social media. I don't usually, like you said. I mean, I'm usually pretty docile with things on social media. I don't post memes. I don't post a lot of other stuff. But
Same.
I was like, okay, I need to get this out there. So posting it everywhere. I have 2 different Instagram accounts. I don't usually post on the first one. One's just like, oh, I post my music and pictures of my cat and stuff. But the other one's like, okay, this is a business profile. I'm going to post serious photography and, stuff about my podcast and what I'm actually doing so that I get traction on it.
Right.
So I made it about my Twitch page. It was mainly about gaming for a couple months. But then, turned into this because of Duncan. So
cool. So the Midnight Gospel inspired you to do this?
my friend Paul told me that I should do a podcast about music. Probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was managing a hip hop artist. I told you I was in Toronto the other day shooting for a video. I used to manage that artist. We were in cahoots for about a year, and yeah, so he told me that I should start a podcast a long time ago. And I was like, I had a lot of, like I said, I used to have a lot of anxiety about things like this. So it was like, no, I'd be too scared to ask people to come on. So
right.
Basically, I sat down on May 8th and I watched the Midnight Gospel took 3 days to get through the whole series. What people don't tend to realize, I leave the math out there for them to do, is that I finished the series on May 10th. And May 10th is Mother's Day. Sorry that you were drinking when you hit that.
Wow.
So,
That's really gnarly.
It sunk in for me. I didn't know what I was going into.
Yeah.
But, it hit me because I lost my mother in 2009. So, it really sunk in. And I binged the series probably 6 times since then, just to get the message, making sure I sunk everything in. But it inspired me to start. Take those first steps, and the first steps were messaging Duncan Trussell and saying, "Hey, be on my space blast. I was in space."
Man, wow! So, what a magical inspiration.
It's a whirlwind.
That
show takes you for a
ride. That show has changed so many lives. It's not a net like that's not an exaggeration in the slightest.
Not at all. It's
pretty crazy.
It's leading me to a calmer lifestyle. Like I was hot headed before. I mean I smoke a lot of weed just to try and keep myself calm. It's like, okay, it'll keep me from, boiling over and exploding on people. It does. It helps me to do that. It helps me manage my anxieties. But
totally.
It doesn't help with depression. It doesn't help
right.
with awareness. It doesn't help with consciousness at all. So these are things I need. I need these right now for many, many, many reasons. But those were things I guess I was looking for and blind to. Something I heard recently It's stupid. I know you love the Beatles.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Beatles. Like, I don't know how to say it. They were all I listened to for so long.
Yeah.
Paul, with his stuff afterwards, Paul McCartney, a lot of his solo stuff inspired a lot of the way that I live my life now. Specifically, one of his albums, it's called Flaming Pie, just got a re-release. I bought it on vinyl because it's $100 album otherwise, because it had a small short pressing, whatever. Anyway, what I was getting to was that there's a documentary that he did for it, and in that there's a line. He says he heard somewhere that life begins at the age of 40. So when he turned 40, he started looking around and nothing happened. So he thought, well, I better do something about that. So he started, making more music again, because, whatever. You're here now, so you might as well.
You're fucking Paul McCartney, brother.
Right. So basically, I live a lot of lessons that I've learned in my life were from Beatles material. And I didn't just, I'm screaming Beatles fan. I'm sorry for anybody who is. I'm not discouraging that, but I am I grew up writing poetry in my teenage years. I'm very keen on words, and when I hear lyrics, I take them to heart. So when I hear we don't need anybody else to tell us what is real, inside each one of us is love, and we know how it feels. When I was 8, I heard that. And I took that to heart. That's an important thing to remember your whole life.
Yeah.
Whether you're going through trouble or not, whether you have love or you don't, it's important to remember that you have it in your heart. It's always there. Hello, Girl 2.0.
Yeah, you are this. It comes from us. We are sources of it.
We radiate it. We just don't see it. We only feel it. And that's one thing about our being that I know for a fact, is that we radiate emotion. It's there, and when somebody is sad, you're going to be aware of their sadness. If you're in the same area as them, you're aware of their sadness.
If you're not, that's a pretty bad sign.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
it's a sign. Yeah, it's a sign of some lack of empathy or something.
Yeah.
Because totally. Yeah.
But
yes. You can feel that.
Something like a lack of empathy is something that's understandable for some people that have gone through experienced some trauma.
Yeah.
I've understood that in some of my friends and some people that I know, is that
yes,
you can't expect certain people to understand what you're going through if they've never been through it and they haven't experienced it. Again, I hate to bring up the Beatles, but John Lennon's song How can I give love when love is something that I've never felt? Or I think that's something like that. How can I give love if love is something that I've never been given? You're not aware of what it is, then you can't give it to somebody.
Totally.
So I feel special when I can acknowledge somebody else's emotions. And that's something that you do too with your, I've told you before, with music. I feel emotion from it. I don't know if you're, some people say, okay, yeah, I'm trying to get a message across or whatever. But what you're feeling, what you're playing, you're feeling. I mean, there's this new technology that I saw today. This video, it's called a bamboo. It's like an iPod. Plug in your headphones, but you also plug in an electric clamp, and you attach it to a tree. Apparently, trees are giving off electromagnetic signals, and what it does is it turns those electromagnetic signals into a MIDI signal. and
Yes.
you can decide which kind of instrument you want it to be, but it will relay those MIDI signals into whatever you decide, and you can listen
Yeah.
to whatever plant you're attached to. So I thought it was like, okay, you're going to listen to nature now. We've got the ability to listen to each other there's a synth that you can just touch, and based on like touching each other, it just creates
Yes.
sound. So we've got so many different things where we can hear feeling, but we need to have, we think we need to have something where we need to hear, like, I mean, you'd think that we'd need to, but as far as music goes, what I'm saying is that when I come into your channel and you're playing some, now I'm gonna call it a masterpiece because half the time I come in there and it's just fucking beautiful. When you're playing some masterpiece, I melt. I feel the emotion that you're conveying, and it just, like, it's not sadness melting. It's like, happiness melting. But it's like warm melting. It's like I'm an ooey gooey cheese melting. It's a really good feeling. You make me feel really good, man. I don't say that to a lot of guys, but you do.
Thank you, Valo. I appreciate that. So you even get that if you come in and it's like a quote unquote sad song.
If it's a sad song, then I mean I'm not feeling the melty warmness, but I'm feeling the whatever you're, I mean, I can't say I'm feeling the exact same feeling that you're feeling. There's no way that
I would
I'm
hope
feeling.
not sometimes.
Yeah. But sometimes you don't even have to be like, I mean, sometimes you rap over top or whatever, you freestyle or you sing. So based on your words, I can get what you're conveying or what you're thinking about. But I've caught you sometimes, like, you'll say something about something you're thinking about, and then you'll just go, no, let's not worry about that. We'll get back on the good times, I've caught that a couple times with you. But
Yeah.
it's you're being aware of it. You're noticing it, and then you're going back to it. Like you're going back to the feeling that you're supposed to be getting out, So it's a good thing. But if you're putting apart like I was watching Hammy one time, and I was like, nothing sad, and he's like, nothing sad, okay, got it. He started playing something like, nope, that's sad right off the bat, and erased it. And then he started playing something else, and he was like, okay, this is good, and it really did turn into something really sad. I didn't want to say it, I didn't want to ruin it, I didn't want to leave his channel and turn him off. It was
Right.
a bad time to be listening to sad music on my end, but unfortunately I let it play out, and it was a really sad time. But
I'm sorry.
Hammy was there for us during that was good. It helped me feel. It really did.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have felt as deeply as I did in that moment if the music wasn't there. I would have been upset. But
Yeah.
I really do have trouble conveying emotions sometimes without, I mean, I know what I'm feeling, but I have trouble getting it across to people. Like, I'm good with words if I sit down and write a poem or something, but I have ADHD, dyslexia, and I did not finish high school. So it's understandable that I don't always think before I act or say things. So a lot of the times I'm worried about my podcast because I don't have no script or anything up here. I got 1, 2, 6 bulletins here that are just like, okay, things I want to sort of bring up, and they're all crossed out. I crossed them out about 20 minutes ago. So I have nothing left on my list here, but here we are, right? It's all about the flow. And I think that the music brings it back to the music. You're just always flowing. And with that flow, you're conveying whatever emotion you're feeling. And I feel that so hard in some of your stuff when I'm just chilling with you.
That's the goal, man. I am really happy to hear that comes across, because that is the absolute goal. When I do get into flow state and find myself in that space, you can see it and hear
For
it, I
sure, I
think,
can.
as it's like night and day, in my opinion. For anyone who
I've
spends
seen you
enough
flip that
time in it.
switch, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because
like
like
a light.
there's times where I'll be going for an hour or two and I'm not in flow state and I'm just making music, and it's like I'm that's fine, I'm because that's part of the thing. But like,
Yeah, it is all part of the thing. I started one time. I used to do music streams before I met you, and I have a couple times since. But I used to do a stream. If I set up a beat, I can pull my guitar out and I can play my guitar all right. I can't.
right.
I can't do anything near what you can do, but I can play my guitar all right. Mainly these are for show, because I sort of incentivized myself and said, you have a really nice guitar. You can't not play it. You
Right.
can't not play that. Look at it up there. It's on the wall. It's so nice. You got it custom done. You put in special pickups. You got UFO knobs on your space guitar. Dude, you have to play that. So I sort of incentivized myself to, learn to play it. I mean, I know a little bit, but I played on and off for like 3 months here, 2 months there for like 12 years. So I was always like,
Yeah.
I want to play a guitar, but I never, until I had one. I finally had one, and I had 2 kids. So there's
Yeah.
not a lot of time there to fill the gap. But, you know, we do what we can. You have a lot of time on your hands, by the look of it.
Yeah.
5 hours a
I
day of improv looping over on Aaron's channel. I'm gonna give him a shout out here. Comes up
I
nicely
do
on
have
my
plenty
channel
of
here.
time. I also waste plenty of time. And that's been kind of totally okay for a while, but now it's starting to make me not feel good about myself, and so I think I'm going to try and start being more productive with my time, which will eventually lead me to wanting to waste time again. So, and that's fine. I'm trying to
That's
like
how that
love
happens.
myself
Yeah,
through that.
it rolls like that.
Yeah, it does.
So we've got some people in the chat. Does anybody want to ask Aaron anything? I mean, I know most of you here can ask him anything anytime you want, but it's a podcast. It's a chance to ask him something.
Yeah, it's a little more. I feel like maybe some people don't feel like asking in-depth questions during a stream, but also y'all who are there long enough know that you totally can, and I'll literally answer basically anything on there.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you about. You're sitting in front of that 505 right there.
Yes.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Well, so thankfully, my first guitar pedal of all time was my RC20, which is basically like
The
one of these
RC1
channels.
right here.
Hell yeah, that thing's great. So it's like that, but it's a double pedal, and it doesn't have an undo function.
No, mine doesn't. Mine has an undo if I plug something else into it.
Oh wow.
But I customized it. I took the pedal off and I put a Lego on the button.
A
so
Lego?
I can just press the Lego and loop it when I want to. I'm still learning because it's a little difficult to use. But
Yeah,
like that specifically.
It takes such a. I mean, you just like. I think it's like anything else, it just takes time. But like with this, the only difference for me was getting used to the change in pedal, and I stopped even using my foot pedal. I do it all with my fingers now, and it has been a fairly natural change. But like I've had a lot of time playing with loop pedals. Like I said the other day on stream, I think my friend sent me a video from 2013 of me at an open mic doing exactly what I do on stream. Making a beat with a loop pedal, playing guitar on it, and rapping on it with my friends.
Yeah, this was the first pedal I picked up. I went into a guitar store to buy it. Like, I'd never been into a guitar store that has pedals the way this guitar store has pedals. But I was like, I'm looking for something. I didn't know what I wanted.
I don't know.
But I was like, I saw this loop, and I was like, give me like a loop pedal or something. And he brought me this one. Girl
That's a great loop
2.0
pedal.
wants to know what your favorite snack is.
What is my favorite snack? Defines, like, are we just talking like chips or something kind of snack? Because like,
Girl
I mean, I think my
2.0?
favorite snack is fruit
Fruit.
or chocolatey salty things.
I love chocolate covered pretzels.
I love chocolate covered pretzels so much.
Good.
Incredible.
You know what, if I ever come to LA,
But also,
I'm gonna bring a bag of chocolate covered pretzels.
please. I just love fruit so much. Like, I ate a bowl of berries before this. It was really good.
Lovely. All right, Aaron, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got a place to be in an hour. You probably got other stuff to do before then.
This was awesome, man. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to jinx you now because we both said thank you at the same time.
Well, Jinx, you owe me a bag of, we both owe each other a bag of chocolate covered pretzels.
Oh, I guess that's what we're doing then. Thanks for
Love
coming
you,
on,
man.
I love you too, man. I'll see you later
See you soon.
when you stream.
Beautiful.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.